Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Sorry I wasn't around yesterday. I had had a little surgery again for the second time in 6 months. Had my tricep repaired, so right now my arm is completely numb. And yesterday I was still a little under the influence of the anesthetic, although I did do some work anyway. In this video, I want to talk to you about with a situation where you've got somebody Baker acted, and the question that I sometimes get asked is, should the family retain us to file a habeas petition to get their loved one out of the Baker Act, or should they hire us to represent the family to file for guardianship over their loved one? So think about this, right? Someone's been detained. Now, especially if they have a long history of mental illness, they've been Baker acted multiple times, the family can hire us to represent their loved one. In other words, the loved one who's been detained is the client, and now we're representing that person to get them out or potentially transferred to another facility. But remember, if we go from a public facility to a private facility, once they're out, they're no longer under the Baker Act, which may be a good thing, right, if that's what you want. But if they need help, it may not be a good thing, because then they get to leave and go about their business. So sometimes the family will actually hire us to represent them, the family, to file for guardianship over their loved one while they're in the Baker Act facility. And what that does is we're now asking a court to give us the authority, in other words, move the state out of the way here, because remember, the state takes custody of the person when they're Baker acted, move the state out of the way, and now allow the family to step back into the situation, right? And not only is the family now going to gain control of the situation, but their loved one who's been detained is still not going to have the right to make any decisions for themselves. So remember, once you get Baker acted, you become a ward of the state. Your ability to make decisions for yourself, gone, suspended. The state now gets to make those decisions for you, right? Medical decisions, just medical decisions. I mean, we're not talking about controlling your finances, but needless to say, they are basically controlling your liberty. So what we do is we'll file for a guardianship. We represent the family steps into the state's shoes, but now in addition to being potentially able to make medical decisions, like in the other guardianships that we handle, we're talking about handling finances, where they live, who they spend time with, that restrict their ability to travel, all the things that you would associate with guardianship. But we're going to get the state out of the way, and we're going to take your loved one out of the state's control and the state's facility and put them somewhere potentially private or that's paid for by insurance, that's going to do a much better job of taking care of them, right, and get them the help they need. Because eventually, like any disease, substance use, mental illness, the behavioral health diseases, they just get worse with time until ultimately they kill the host. It's just the way it is, right? So we want to make sure they get help. And obviously, if somebody's getting Baker acted multiple times, at some point, the state's just going to keep them. I mean, and I've seen this happen where the state takes a position. Look, judge, this person's been Baker acted 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and the family has done nothing to stop this. So no problem. We'll take care of it from here. And let's send them to a state hospital. And if they ever get better, well, we'll give them back. But listen, you and I both know I've never seen anybody get better in a Baker Act facility. And if it happens, it hasn't happened on my watch. And I only see horrendous things happening at a state hospital. So you got to nip this in the bud. You can't allow this to continue. But I wanted to talk about that, right? How you could potentially file for guardianship if someone has been Baker acted. Anyway, I appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you in another video. I'm going to do a couple today, so happy Saturday.